Don't think this is a coincidence. Last week, right here on this program, we had stunning revelation after revelation, day after day, about Hillary Clinton, Uranium One, the fake news dossier, and that special counsel Mueller is clearly complicit in the Uranium One scandal. Remember, he was the FBI director, the FBI informant, had all the evidence of bribes and kickbacks and money laundering, and he did nothing. So now they need to change the narrative after a very bad week and distract the country from their evidence and their involvement in possible collusion. And by the way, Mr. Mueller, who leaked the indictments to fake news CNN? Was it you? Now, I can confirm exclusively here tonight on Hannity, Friday night, all day Saturday, Manafort's team did not know this was coming. So somebody disclosed this information. That is a crime, Mr. Mueller. You should know this. And by the way, anybody from the grand jury, it's a simple crime. Who did it? Did anyone, Mr. Mueller, in your office do it? Now, while liberals in the media are hysterical, absolutely beside themselves with giddiness, thinking this is the big smoking gun about Paul Manafort, there's another major shoe dropping in these major Democratic scandals. Now, we first reported on Tony Podesta over a week ago on October the 24th. He's the brother of Clinton's former campaign manager, John Podesta. And according to Politico, Tony Podesta is now stepping down from his lobbying group because he is being investigated by the special counsel. And as we have now been reporting, the probe into Tony Podesta and his lobbying group came about after Mueller started looking into Manafort's finances. NBC News even pointed out that Podesta's group worked with Manafort on a public relations campaign called European Center for a Modern Ukraine. And NBC News even adds that Mueller could be looking into whether Podesta and his company violated what's known as FARA, the Foreign Agents Registration Act. And Politico is reporting that both Tony and, John Podesta, Hillary's campaign manager, and even Sid Vicious Blumenthal, they were all conveniently together this weekend at Hillary Clinton's birthday party in Washington. Wonder what everybody talked about. And after new revelations that the Clinton campaign and the DNC paid almost $10 million to help spread Russia anti-Trump lies and propaganda, well, now even Senator Susan Collins is saying that John Podesta and disgraced former DNC chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz, they need to retestify before Congress about the phony Clinton Russian lying dossier that was meant to influence the American people on the eve of an election. Watch this.
They absolutely need to be recalled. It's difficult to imagine that a campaign chairman, that the head of the DNC would not know of an expenditure of this magnitude and significance, but perhaps there's something more going on here. But certainly it's worth additional questioning of those two witnesses.
And you need to know, there is no chance that over $10 million goes out the door to pay for this lying dossier. And nobody knows about it. If you listen to the Clinton people, the DNC people, I don't know. Nobody knows. $10 million out the door. And guess what? They're all lying because they all use the same attorney and the same law firm. Take a look how Congressman and former prosecutor Trey Gowdy is now properly interpreting what Clinton and the DNC and now Obama did in paying for this dossier. This is interesting.
I'm not an election law expert, Chris, but the good news is you don't have to be to understand the absurdity of believing that you can launder all of your campaign money by just hiring a law firm. I mean, imagine if you and I were running for Congress and we just hired a law firm and said, hey, you go do all the oppo, you go buy all the television, you go buy all the bumper stickers, you go hire all the experts, and we're going to launder all of this through a law firm. I can't think of anything that defeats the purpose of transparency laws more than that.
This is not hyperbole. I am not overstating the case. We are at a major crisis point in America tonight. Do we have equal justice under the law in this country today? If you or I, if anybody in this room with me now or watching TV with you, if we ever did anything close to what the Clintons, the DNC, and others did, we would be rotting in a jail cell tonight, hoping our friends would send us a cake that had a file. The only difference between Trump-Russia collusion is that we have the evidence, and after a year of black helicopter conspiracy theories, they have none. And just like we have the evidence when it comes to Clinton and her email server scandal, why hasn't she been charged? Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett, who will join us tonight, has helped us put together a list of all the laws broken in all of these scandals. Take a look at the side of your screen. These are the laws that were potentially broken, all by the Clinton campaign and the DNC in the fake news dossier scandal. Of course, they use Russian sources bought and paid for by Hillary, the DNC, and Obama to smear Trump and influence the election with Russian lies. Then there's the massive Uranium One scandal that Congress rightly is now investigating. We do need a special prosecutor. Finally, you have, look right there, federal statutes involving crimes like bribery and mail fraud and wire fraud and racketeering. And as we've been saying, all of this is beyond serious. It compromised our national security, and people should be put behind bars. There's also the Clinton email server scandal. I haven't forgotten. Truth matters. The law matters. Equal justice matters. Remember, she had secret, top secret, special access program, classified information on a server stored in the bathroom of a mom and pop shop. Her team also deleted over 33,000 subpoenaed emails using bleach bit and acid wash, smashing Blackberries and other devices with a hammer, removing the SIM cards before giving the mobile devices to the FBI. That's called obstruction of justice. That's a felony. And just to recap, since it's so vitally important, probably the biggest scandal of all is Bill and Hillary Clinton selling out America's national security to Putin and the Russians. And guess what? The FBI had the information before they made the deal. And the FBI director's name at that time was Robert Mueller. And Eric Holder was the attorney general at the time who oversaw the FBI. They had to know. And yet a year later, when even though they had evidence of bribery and collusion and money laundering and all these crimes, they ignored the evidence, and Eric Holder and Clinton signed off on the single, beyond the Iranian deal, dumbest national security decision ever. Rod Rosenstein, he oversaw the investigation. Remember, he's the guy that appointed Mueller on a local level while he was serving as a U.S. attorney for Maryland. He appointed Mueller to be the special counsel here. This is beyond incestuous. What about investigating their roles in Russia? Hillary Clinton's State Department, Eric Holder, signed off on the deal a year later, knowing that what his intentions were to corner the uranium market. Bill Clinton makes a fortune, doubles his speaking fees, paid with a check from a bank that has a financial interest in Uranium One. He tried to get his wife meetings with Russian nuclear officials for him, but he met with Putin instead. That was in 2009. Then in 2010, Putin gets everything he wants in spite of all the evidence of his spies, his agents committing crimes in this country. And as we mentioned earlier, between Fusion GPS, between Uranium One, we have evidence of real Russian collusion. America tonight is at a crisis point. Will we have equal justice under the law, or will America just be a banana republic, corrupt at its core? That is what is at stake tonight. And that is what the corrupt media will never tell you, because the media is part of the corruption that is the sewer, that is the swamp, that is Washington, D.C. So tonight, America has a choice. We can have equal justice for everyone, or we can live in a country where if you have the right politics, you stand for the right left-wing positions, you can sell out your country and you can get away with it. Guess what? This program is dedicated to the truth. We will get to the bottom of all of this.